Hello. Hi, Emily.
Hi, what's up?
How you doing?
I'm doing great. It feels good to be here on like a weekday during the week. I don't know, my energy is just different because it's not a Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I love Sunday because I roll in right after my Astro call, and we get
True.
a lot of people are home on Sunday, so I feel like we're gonna have a light show today. But that's all good. We're still here. It's the new year, and I didn't want to miss it, guys. I appreciate you being patient with me. Yesterday, my mom was diagnosed with COVID. She's 80 years old, has heart disease, and is diabetic, and so we had to figure out how to treat her, and all is well though. So thank you guys all for the amazing messages I got on IG and Facebook. All the love, I appreciate it kindly. Mom's doing great, so all is well there. And beyond that, I'm just ready to comp some houses. How about you?
I'm ready. I was born ready.
Amazing. So first and foremost, guys, I want to thank our friends at Batch. We are absolutely just in love with their consistency in the platform. Batch Leads has not, I repeat, has not failed us with respect to MLS comps. In fact, guys, there was rumor that all third-party resellers, including Batch, PropStream, and others who use MLS data, were going to lose access to it, and that turned out to be false. 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 Batch is still able to comp in non-disclosure states with MLS sold data. So, guys, if you haven't yet got your Batch Leads subscription, you can give it a try for free here at batchleads.io/Jamil. And I highly recommend it. It's a great resource for comping, and it allows my team all across the United States to get accurate access to sold comps and then know what their buy number should be on that house, which is really important, because the number one reason why a wholesaler will quit this business is because they get on the phone with the seller. They find the seller says they need an X number of dollars for their property, and wholesaler says, okay, and gives it to them, and then locks up a contract way over what the value of the property is. And then they can't sell it. They get laughed at when they try to sell it, send it to buyers, and then they quit because they say, this doesn't work. Who wants to sell for a discount? And I know that this is the way that people think, because I get thousands of DMs from people every week that are saying, hey, Jamil, how the hell can you wholesale in a hot market like this? The scarcity mindsets are plentiful out there. The fear is plentiful. Guys, Keegley did $1.4 million in business last month, $1.4 million in assignments and double closes. What are you talking about? There's no deals. That is so incorrect. Our franchises across the country are crushing it. Small wholesale operations are blowing up. So, no, I don't buy that. It is because you're not spending time. It is because you're not valuing properties. And all 130 of you that are on this right now are not those people, because you guys are here to learn about what it means to understand value. So let's answer a couple of questions. Emily, there's some in the chat, and then we will get into comping. David Britt asks, where can I find out about what states are non-disclosure states? David Britt, great question. Emily, do you have that graphic?
I do. Let me bring it up. I will bring that up, but let me find another question for the meantime.
Awesome. David, so we have created a graphic that has the different states that are non-disclosure. And guys, while Emily is pulling that up, what a non-disclosure state is, for any of you that are wondering, a non-disclosure state is a state where a homeowner isn't required to disclose how much they bought or sold their property for. And because they're not required to, many of them, when they're at the closing table and signing their documents, are choosing not to release that information to the public. because why should they, right? It's a privacy thing. Texas is a non-disclosure state, for example. New Mexico, again, you know, there's more. Emily's going to pull up that graphic. But why it's important is because in non-disclosure states, it's impossible to find sold comps if people don't want to share it. And so the only place to get that sold data is from the MLS. Okay. Now, PropStream used to have that sold data, but unfortunately, they don't anymore. Batch Leads still does. And they will continue having it because they've got a completely different contract with a completely different data provider, and they are in no jeopardy of losing it. So Batch Leads will still provide sold MLS comp data for you. And that is super important. If you want to know how much a house's ARV is, that is where you get that information from. So a non-disclosure state just means that access to sold data is not going to be available on your traditional platforms like Zillow. You won't find it on Redfin. You won't find it on Realtor.com. You will actually have to have a third-party reseller give you that information. So somebody like Batch or what was PropStream will be where you're going to need to go for that. Make sense? Cool. Emily, did you find the graphic?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. Where is my elevator music?
And yes, I'm the elevator music. This Facebook user just said that they had an orientation with Batch today. And guys, they will do an incredible job with helping get you onboarded with their platform. So I'm not technologically inclined, just so you guys know. I totally suck at computers. It's not really my jam, but I can very easily navigate the Batch Leads platform because they taught me. So just get the trial, get onboarded, and get to work. These are the non-disclosure states as they are known today. Alaska, Idaho, Kansas, North Dakota, Montana, Mississippi, Texas, Louisiana, New Mexico, Missouri, Utah, and Wyoming. And that's just what it is. It's not going to change. This isn't a regulation thing. This isn't something that's going to adjust or get better one day. It's not. These states will remain non-disclosure. And so you're going to need to have a platform like Batch Leads to run accurate comps if you are working in any of these markets. All right. Again, it's Alaska, Idaho, Kansas, North Dakota, Montana, Mississippi, Texas, Louisiana, New Mexico, Missouri, Utah, and Wyoming. Wyoming being almost a perfect square. Beautiful, beautiful. Any other questions here, or should we get to the Compin?
Here's a little question from Carla. Realtor has some short sales or pre-foreclosed properties. Is it worth looking into?
Carla, absolutely great question. So short sales are definitely worthwhile looking into. Here's what I want to tell you about short sales is don't sell them until you get bank approval. And be careful because short sales are often attached with deed restrictions, meaning that you're going to have to actually take title to the property before you can wholesale it. So a deed restriction is the number of days you're going to have to hold the property before you can resell it. And oftentimes what lenders are putting in place are 30, 60, or 90-day deed restrictions, meaning you're going to have to buy the house, hold it for 30, 60, or 90 days, depending on how long the deed restriction is, before you're going to be able to resell that to someone else. So just be well capitalized enough to take the property down, hold it for the amount of time that the deed restriction requires you to hold it for, and then sell it. Now, with respect to pre-foreclosures, that's not the case. Pre-foreclosures, you can absolutely assign, you can double close, you can wholesale those. There's no deed restriction on a pre-foreclosure. Pre-foreclosures are great. However, Carla, I don't think that you need to work with a realtor to get pre-foreclosure properties. You can get a pre-foreclosure list from Batch, and you can just work those pre-foreclosure leads without having to get an agent involved. An agent for pre-foreclosures, unless they're actively going after them themselves. Look, the realtor, it's not enough for a realtor to send you a list of pre-foreclosures because that list is super available. And then expect you to work with them after you cold called them, after you created a deal, then fit the agent back in. No, that's not how this works. Okay, if the agent wants to call the pre-foreclosure leads and talk to the homeowners and get a buy price from you and put those deals under contract, and then you do a wholesale deal, and then hell yeah, work with that realtor. But otherwise, that's not necessary. What you do is get the list of pre-foreclosure properties from Batch Leads, skip trace them, call them, and do the deal seller direct. There's no need to insert an agent into that situation. I love working with agents, but I love working with agents who work. Does that make sense? I don't want to work with lazy agents. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean it is what it is, right? If an agent's not listening to what you're asking them for, they're not listening to what you're asking them for. Their attention to detail is nothing. It's not there. They're not going to be viable or useful for you. Now, does that mean that they'll never have a deal? Absolutely not. They may have a deal. In fact, the lazy agents are usually the ones who need you when they get a listing because they're so broken, they have no idea how to move that house. Okay, so that means you continue following up with them to see if they have any distressed properties coming to market that you might be able to put under contract, to see if they have any hoarder houses or nightmare listings that they had to throw their shoes away after walking, to see if there's any houses that they visited that are in such bad condition that the homeowner is going to need to do extensive renovations before they'll be financeable. All different approaches that I just gave you, okay? But that is what we're trying to get from realtors, not access to lists. Lists are available through your subscription on Batch Leads, so do not insert a realtor into a situation if they are not ready to work that situation. Make sense? Cool. What's next?
Did you answer what do I do if I don't have any EMD money?
Oh, I did not. Also, what do I do if I don't have earnest deposit? Squat up, baby. Squat up, Carla. That's what you do, okay? So if you are in a market where there is a Keegley franchise is happy to help you with earnest money. You can also work with anyone from Sub2, Astro Flipping, all of our community members. There's some that are doing extremely well and are building amazing businesses and have access to all types of resources that'll happily help you with earnest money. The answer to that question, Carla, is squat up. Now, guys, we're going to have over 200 people on this live stream today. If you are not doing what Thomas is doing here in the comments and squatting up with people, you are missing out. There are so many deals to be done in the comments here. So many deals. Tell people where you're from. Tell people what you're looking for. Tell people what you're good at. Tell people what you need help with. Squad up. All of you that are brand new, I see there's a lot of new viewers here today. Thank you for joining us. I comp properties on this show. So this show is about teaching you how to comp properties. And we will get to that next. But again, here you go. Chi Brown, my man Chi out of North Carolina, who is a brilliant investor and a friend of mine, as well as an Astro family member. He is happy to put up EMD for a deal in North Carolina. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what it is to squat up. This is what the community is that we're building, and you can lean on it. You can grow with it, and that is why it's so friggin' dope. Cool.
That's so awesome. Somebody asked in the comments, what is the difference between batch leads and batch driven?
Another great question. So Batch Driven is a great app if you're out driving for dollars and you're in the world and you're, say you're in front of a house and you want to say, okay, here I'm in front of this house. I want to tag this house. I want to skip trace it and say, I want to save this lead and skip trace it to call them back later. That's what Batch Leads is for. It's a great tool for you when you're out in the field driving for dollars. Okay. That's why it's called Batch Driven being the action of driving, right? So it's a driving for dollars app. It is not very functional if you're at a desktop or working from an office and you want to do things at mass scale. If you want to do things fast, if you want to do things productively, if you want to do things efficiently, you need a CRM and a software that's going to keep up with your workflow style. And Batch Leads is what that is. So Batch Leads has access to lists. Batch Driven won't comp for you either. There's no comping tool in Batch Driven. None of that exists in there. It's only for driving for dollars. Batch Leads, on the other hand, you can pull lists. You can stack lists. You can pull tax record data. You can skip trace, and you can also text people from batch leads. So it's like an all-in-one platform, and it is super, super cool. If you are, that is super confusing. Take that down. If you are using the batch leads, it's just batchleads.io/Jamil. And if you want to try out batch driven, it's batchdriven.io/Jamil. But don't do all of them together because that'll just take you to somewhere else.
Sorry, guys.
That's okay. What is next?
I think we should get into it.
Let's get to Compin. Let's bring up the appraisal rules, Em.
All righty. Let me bring that up.
Guys, doesn't Emily look amazing today? You want to know why? Because she's going on holiday in 2 days.
You're just mad.
Yes. I'm mad because she asked me if she can take a break and go on a holiday over Christmas time, and I was feeling really Christmassy, and I said yes. And now I just realized I'm going to be all alone.
For 7 days.
What am I going to do? If anybody's looking for a job, I'm hiring.
No. You know what's funny? I was going to text you before I go, and I was going to say, hey, all right, well, I'm checking out. Don't replace me over my vacation.
Guys, I'm hiring.
No, he's not.
Well, Keegley's hiring.
Yeah.
Email me. I'm playing. No, we're hiring too, Emily. You need help, right? So that's a real thing. But no, you'll never be replaced. You can't replace Emily. She's too wonderful, and she's doing an amazing job. So she got a raise, guys. She's not getting replaced. She got a raise. She's the bomb. Everybody give Emily love. Cool. The appraisal rules. These are the rules that I use when we are comping properties. Why are they called appraisal rules? Because this is what an appraiser is going by when they are valuing a property. So if you are selling your house to an end buyer who is going to fix and flip this, they're going to need to see that you've paid attention to these rules, because these are the rules that they're subjected to when they are selling the property, right? And they go a little something like this. First and foremost, you can only comp 2 properties that are in the same subdivision, okay? Do not cross major roads, and you'll know you're crossing a major road if you're on Zillow. There's a yellow, fat yellow line. It just shows you that it's a high traffic area. Don't cross any major roads. You won't leave a subdivision. If you cross a major road, very likely you left the subdivision and the comp isn't valid. So be careful of that. You can only comp properties that are within plus or minus 200. Actually, that's a little outdated. I'd say plus or minus 300 square feet nowadays. I've been seeing appraisers increase that threshold. So we'll have Kenny change that to plus or minus 300 square feet. They will only compare properties that are of the same property type. So if you have a single-story rancher, then you can only compare that with a single-story rancher. If you have a red brick build, like in some eastern states, the masonry construction is super desirable. You can only compare that with another red brick masonry constructed house. You get what I'm saying, right? If you have a 2-story property, you can only compare it with a 2-story. So it's got to be same. Apples to apples, not apples to pears, because pears have bigger bottoms, okay? The next thing is you can only compare properties that are within plus or minus, I'd say 5 to 10 years of construction. And even then, it's really the same build generation. So in older properties, like stuff that was built in 1890, you can compare it to stuff built in 1920, even though that's a 30-year gap. They didn't progress build technology-wise in that 30 years enough for it to be a different type of construction. The key here, guys, is that they want you to compare the same types of construction, which is why they like to keep it within plus or minus 5 years. The building industry advances in technology every decade or so, right? Every 5 to 10 years, they get new build technologies. Houses get more efficient. They get better plumbing systems. For instance, galvanized steel pipes, galvanized plumbing, all has to be replaced. But if you bought in, the early 2000s, it might be PVC plumbing, and that might be all good, right? So again, you understand why build generation is important, because the technology that was used in that build is what is being compared. Now, when you are comparing 2 properties, it's unlikely that you're going to have houses that are the same. right? There's gonna be differences between them. They may be of the same square footage. They might be in the same subdivision, but what if one has an extra bedroom, or what if one has a carport, and one has a garage, or one has a bathroom, and the other one doesn't have a third bathroom, or a pool, or no pool? So these are the adjustments that you make if you have an extra bed, or if you're missing a bed, if you have an extra bath or missing a bed, so on and so forth. And then finally, guys, if you are siding, fronting, or backing traffic, depending on the price point, you're going to need to make an adjustment. This needs to change to 500K, Emily, under 500K. That's outdated. So, because prices have increased. If you are under 500K, siding, backing, or fronting, you're going to make these adjustments. And if you are over 500K, you have to change that to percentages, because in a luxury price point, commercial and traffic is a big deal. And then also, guys, I see this happen a lot. You have a house with a basement, or you have an additional dwelling unit or a guest house, and wholesaler or a seller tells you there's 500 square feet in my guest house, and there's 1,500 square feet in my main house, so the total square footage is 2,000. No, it's not. Okay, the guest house does not count as 100% of value. In fact, some appraisers won't even give you credit for a guest house or a basement, because according to the way the appraisers work for lenders, that square footage isn't countable. However, some will give you about 50% of that value. So the most that you can ever give in value for a basement, additional dwelling unit, or a guest house is 50% of the square foot value. Cool. Awesome. Let's get to it. And Mark Stevens, yeah, it applies to the same, a duplex or a fourplex. However, Mark, when you are trying to value a property like a duplex or a fourplex, you're going to value it based on its income. And so it really doesn't apply in that sense, right? So what you need is the rent. So if anybody's putting up a duplex, triplex, quadplex, eightplex, whatever on this show today, have the rents, or don't put it in there because we can't comp it. Let go.
I saw a multifamily. Oh, we can start here. Look at this one.
All right. Okay, so Maurice Frazier has a property at 1702 Naomi Street in Indianapolis, Indiana. It is a duplex. It's rented for $1,200 total, one each side, meaning each side is renting for $600. What would that be worth? So, Maurice, great question. In Indianapolis, this is what we consider a low appreciation, low demand area. And so for every $100,000 that an investor spends, they're going to want $2,000 a month in rent. Okay? It's a 2% rule. And Indianapolis follows the 2% rule. So if we are getting $1,200 a month in rent, that kind of tells you where it should be, right? If you were getting $1,000 in rent, you'd be spending $50,000 on the property. We got an extra $200 here. So you're probably at about $55K. That you'd want to offer $55K on this duplex that is bringing in $1,200,000 a month in gross rents. Simple. Once you figure it out, once you know where you are in the country, and you know if it's low appreciation, low demand, or high appreciation, high demand, then you'll know what percentage rule to follow. And high appreciation, high demand areas will follow the 1% rule, meaning for every $100,000 you spend, they're going to want $1,000 a month in rent. And low appreciation, low demand areas are going to have, for every $100,000 you spend, you're going to want $2,000 a month in rent. And why is that? Because in low appreciation areas, an investor can't bank on the property appreciating. They're only really gaining from the cash flow. In high appreciation areas, the investor gains from appreciation and cash flow. So they're willing to forego lower cash flow because they know that they're going to gain in appreciation over time. Corey G, if you want to submit a property, you just type it in the chat, bro. And if we get to it, we'll get to it, bro. That's how it is. All right, what's next?
Here's another multifamily if we want to keep going there.
All right, 528 East Lancaster. Now, this is in California. California is a little different. Right now, he's got a triplex. The total rent is $3,220, $3,220 a month. Long-term renters. The rent should be at $4,500. Unfortunately, Dale, the way it works in California, what should be can't be, because there's a very strict rent control in California. They can only increase by 3%, I believe, per year in rent. And so even though they should be able to rent for $4,500, unless they are willing to evict and pay the leaving fee or the rehoming fee that you would have to pay a tenant in California, then raising the rent to $4,500 is not possible. So remove that from the conversation. If the seller is trying to dangle that carrot in front of you, that is not a carrot to be dangled, because it can't be 8. There is no way to increase rents from $3,220 to $4,500 without spending a great deal amount of money doing that. So we have to look at this as a $3,220 a month rental, and that's what it is. So because California has a high appreciation, high demand, we're looking at the 1%. Now, in fact, if this was in LA, it would be even worse. LA follows the 0.5% rule, where for every $100,000 you spend, you're going to get $500 a month in rent ish, right? That's how it works in LA. But in Lancaster, it'll follow the 1%. So if $3,220 is the gross monthly rent, this is what you can offer. ARV on this would be around $390, and you want to offer them around $270 on it. On we go.
All right. Let's get into Batch. I got an address for you.
An addy. Let's get it.
We're going to start in Florida today.
Cool. Just read me the address.
Okay. It's 12 Robin Lane. Robin is spelled with a Y, so ROBYN. And that's in Haines City, Florida.
Wonderful. (12) Robin Lane, Haines City, Florida. We have a 2-bed, 1-bath, 1860 square foot property. Batch's value estimate is $230,000. It has a garage, no pool, 11,000 square foot lot. Let's see what it's worth.
Do you want to share your screen?
Oh, I apologize. Sorry, guys.
Oops.
Oopsies. Here we go. 12 Robin Lane, Haines City, Florida, 1975 built, 1860 square foot, 2-bed, 1-bath. Awesome. Let's see what we got. I'm just going to adjust these filters so I can see more data points. See what it pulls up. Okay. Now, what do we got? Here's our subject. Oh, wonderful. We've got a near model match here that just sold in September of 2021 at $226. So far, that's where we are, $225 as an ARV. Let's see if we can bump up from there. Let's check out this $250. This is a couple hundred square feet larger, and that $250 would adjust to about $230. So that's still in line with what we got. What's this $380 though? Let's check this out. Oh, this is much larger, so we can't use it, but would have been cool. And this is also too large for us to use, so it's not viable. Is there anything else that we can find here that gives us some indication of a higher value? Something in the 3s. Again, too large. Oh, here we go. $300K, 1974, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1872 square feet. So if you reconfigured the interior of this house to give you a 3.2, it would be worth $300K. So your ARV is going to be $300K on this one. Where you should be offering on this, because you're going to need an extensive remodel to get that additional bed and bath. Well, why don't we just make the adjustments first of all? So we got 300K. We're missing a bed. We're missing a bath. So we're going to take 20K off that. So 280 would be the ARV. Now out in Haines, what is it? Haines City, Florida. You're probably going to be at about 60% of ARV. So 280, if 280 is your ARV, yes, then you want to be buying this at 60% of that. And so my offer would be around 170.
Awesome. Next one is in Texas.
Cool.
Address is 2606 Las Brisas Boulevard, LAS BRISAS Boulevard in Brownsville.
Got it. 2606 Las Brisas Boulevard in Brownsville, Texas. We've got a 5-bed, 3-bath, 2007 build property. 2360 is a square foot. Batch's value estimate is 252. These guys try to list it in January of 2021 for 255. That's very close to what Batch's retail value is. No pool, 5,900 square foot lot. Let's see what it's worth today. So we got to stay away from here because this has got a little pond. So that these values are not usable for us. That's a mistake somebody would make. They'd say, "Oh, cool, let's go look at this house." It's look at how high that is, but you can't because it's backing water. So not viable for us. Remember, it's like and like. So if something is backing a pond, that changes the value. Okay, not a ton up here. I don't like having to cross over this road, but I don't see that there's a choice. No, so there's nothing viable there. Let's try over here. That's not viable either. Let's look at these lower numbers. It looks like we have to. I mean, and look at this. We had a 2014 build, 3-bed, 2-bath, sold at 194. So Batch's value estimate is high, which is why we do this, right? This is why we comp, guys. We had another sale at 188, 2000 build, 1,400 square feet, though. That was much smaller. So we've got what appears to be one of the larger houses in the area, and that doesn't help us in our comping, because what a lot of people will do is they'll think, oh, okay, if 1,000 square footer sold for this much, let's just extrapolate the dollar per square foot and multiply that by our square footage, and that's our value. That's not how it works. So we know we're above 225 because you got this 225 right here, and it's only 1,506 square feet. So because there's nothing else nearby that matches that that extrapolates high enough to give us what this value will be for this larger house, what an appraiser will typically do is they will take the highest sale, okay, that's the 224, and then they'll give you an additional 10% on top of that for the added square footage. So we got 224 times that by 10%. That's another 24K, 22,400. Add that to 224. And that gives you an ARV of around 245. All right. So not too far off of Batch's value estimate at 250. 245 would be my ARV. And if you're going to offer them on this or give them a number on that, I'd be at about 70%. So you need to give them an offer of about 170 to 175. They're expecting 255 for this, so I doubt that there's a deal there. But they didn't sell it back in 2021 for 255, which is what their hope was. I imagine the house is totally dated and needs all kinds of work. So this is where you should be on your valuation.
Awesome. Next one is in North Carolina.
Cool. All right, I'm ready when you are.
549 Doe Run.
Oh, Doe?
DOE. And that's in Kernersville.
All right. 549 Doe Run Drive in Kernersville, North Carolina. It's a 2003 build, 3532 square foot, 3-bed, 3-bath. Batch's value estimate on this one is 545. It does have a garage, no pool, sitting on a 35,000 square foot lot. Let's see what it's worth. Guys, if you haven't already, tonight's wholesale hotline is going to be insane. We got Tariq El Musa from the Flipper Flop HGTV smash hit series joining us to talk about his wholesale operation, his fix and flip business, and also where he's buying in case you want to do business with Mr. El Musa. Tonight will be the night where you'll be able to connect with him on Wholesale Hotline. So make sure you tune in for that. It's going to be a wow one. Did you guys know that Emily has a life-size poster of Tariq El Musa that she has in her living room?
Totally. You guys can watch that on Jamil's YouTube channel.
Yes. All right. So here's a great comp. It is a couple hundred square feet larger, but it's same build generation, right in the same area, well equipped or well finished home. These are like nice estates. Problem with some of these estates is that they're going to be, somewhat dated and very custom. And so you got to buy them cheap enough to do significant remodeling to them. Now we have to adjust for the change in square footage here. We're a couple hundred square feet smaller. $350,000 divided by 3721 gives me $1 per square foot at $94. I'm going to multiply that by the 3532 that our subject is. That takes us to an ARV. Hold on, I did this wrong. 550,000 divided by 3732 gives us $147 a foot. Multiply that by 3532. That gives us an ARV of 520. So the ARV on ours is 520. And out in Kernersville, North Carolina, I'd say you probably want to be at about 65% of that. So I would be offering them about 340 on this one. 340.
All righty, next one is in Houston, Texas.
All right, ready when you are.
Address is 6322 Cashmere Street. This one is spelled with a K.
Hey, spell it out for me.
Kashmere.
Sorry, one moment.
Yes, Eric, they are announcing the Flip Me Challenge winner at the end of this.
Yes.
Wow.
I forgot to mention that.
Yes, it's going to be awesome.
Sorry, guys. I have a closing that is getting a little jammed up, and I had to just address that. Thank you for your patience. Yes, we are absolutely. Hold on, let me turn this off for a second. We are going to announce the winner of the Flip Me Challenge tonight on Wholesale Hotline. So, if you are wondering, if you won the house, the free house, so Pace, Laura, Rahima, and I, we found a deal. We bought the house. We're going to pay to flip the house. We're going to teach somebody step by step exactly how to flip the house. Then we're going to sell that property and give 100% of the proceeds to the winner. It's gonna be a triple digit flip, hopefully, right? It's on the show. It's one of our episodes on the TV show this season, and so the winner will be announced tonight on Wholesale Hotline. So it's here in Phoenix, the house is here in Phoenix. You don't have to be local. The winner isn't local. The winner is from somewhere else. Now, what I can say is that if you are wondering if you won, then you want to watch Wholesale Hotline today, and you want to tune into my YouTube channel to watch it, because there might be a better likelihood that it's actually not true. The person already won. We've already picked them. But just watch it from my YouTube channel, because it will just be good energy, and good energy might make you win. Okay. What's that?
Too much. Okay. I think we had one typed into batch.
Okay.
Cashmere, remember?
Cashmere. All right.
Cashmere.
6322 Cashmere Street in Houston, Texas, 1945 built, 720 square foot, 2-bed, 1-bath house. This property is sitting on a 5,136 square foot lot. Tiny little guy, 720 square feet. Batch's value estimate on it is $86,867. Let's see what it's worth. Beautiful comp right up the street here, 1950 built, sold at about 130. Okay, but it is a couple hundred square feet larger, so let's adjust. Now it's an older comp, so we're going to try to find something newer, but let's just see where this puts us. It's about 135 a foot. This gets us to about 98K. Let's see if we can do better than that. What's this, 133? Ooh, yeah, look at that. This pushes us over 130 because our subject is slightly larger by 100 square feet. And this is an amazing comp, and it's from 2021. Oh my God, are we so lucky? So let's see what this makes our property worth. $213 a foot. Multiply that by 720 square feet. Gives us an ARV of $153,000 on our subject house with a nice remodel. 153 in Houston. If I'm you, I'd be offering 99.
Somebody asked in the comments, are you accounting for repairs in your number?
I do, and that's when I take the percentage of ARV. So if I have created a US ARV map that tells me what percentage of ARV I need to be at for the specific markets for either cosmetic or full gut remodels. So yes, I am absolutely taking it into consideration, but I do it in a way where it doesn't weigh me down having to wait for a contractor, where I'm looking at like, how much is this lighting going to cost me? How much is the paint going to cost me? I either put the property in 2 buckets, cosmetic remodel or full gut remodel. And they adjust by about 20% depending on cosmetic or full gut. For example, here in Arizona, for a cosmetic remodel, I'm buying at 70% of ARV, not minus repairs, not minus wholesale fee, not none of that crap. 70% of ARV is where I'm buying in Phoenix, Arizona for a cosmetic remodel. If it's a full gut, I'm at 50% of ARV. Now that's going to change if I'm in North Carolina. It's going to change if I'm in Florida. And that's why state to state, market to market, the percentage of ARV is going to change. But I do adjust for condition based off of it either being cosmetic or being full gut.
Lovely. Next one is in New York.
And somebody asked, how does Batch come up with their valuation? It's an algorithm, and yes, they're off sometimes. That's computer shit. That's just how it goes. Yeah.
That's just computer shit.
Yeah.
Oh, you kill me. Okay. 11718.
Yep.
150th Avenue. That's in Jamaica. Queens.
You said, what was the address?
11718. 150th Avenue.
Is it 117-18?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
That's New York.
Doesn't like the address. Is it a commercial property? Can you find out?
Flyboy, is it a commercial property? He said try it with no dash.
Okay.
No, he said no residential. So I think no comma residential.
It doesn't like it. We'll try it on Zillow. Read it out again.
11718 150th Avenue.
Okay. There we go. It doesn't tell us the bed and bath count, but it's 1290 square foot. So if you can fill us in with that, that would be fantastic. Batch's value estimate on this is $800,000. This was built in 1945. It's a single family house on a 6,000 square foot lot. Somebody bought it for $635 way back when in 2007. Let's see what it's worth today. Based off the quick comps that Zillow gave us here as well, number 1, 2, 3, and 5 are viable. 1 sold for $775. 2 is sold for $1. 3 sold for $750. 5 sold for $570. All right, well, let's see what we got. All right, here's our subject. You got a 1.06 million 1387 square footer that sold up the road. That looks like it's the highest that we've got here. It's right on the same street as well. Same size lot. I'm going to venture off to say I don't think we're going to do better than that, so we'll stay there. Now, we have to adjust for the square footage differential here. So 1290 to 1387. Takes us to $764 a foot. We're at 1290. So we're at about 985 ARV, 985. So out in Jamaica, where you want to be offering on that is about 700. Offer
That's crazy.
700. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
That is crazy.
If you are Cedric, if you are trying to get a hold of somebody at Dallas in the Dallas Keegley, you can reach out to Jeff Houlihan, and I'll give you his phone number right here. Emily, if you want to take this down. 425-466-4214. Marty, yeah, Emily's pretty, but she's also married and she has a baby. Sorry.
All right, there's his number. I hope I didn't butcher his last name.
Who?
Jeff.
Oh, Houlihan. Maybe. What'd you say? Oh, not bad. Pretty good.
Did I spell it right?
Not, yeah, I think so. There might be another L in there.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Awesome. What's next?
That's a good question. I have one in Georgia.
Cool. Let's take a look.
Alrighty. 3730 Village Drive. Village Drive Southwest. And that's in Atlanta.
Got it. 3730
Oh, wow.
Village Drive, Southwest Atlanta, 4-bed, 3-bath, 1556 square footer. The Zillow estimate is 240 on this one. I switch it up sometimes. I'll go back and forth from Zillow to Batch, guys. I depends, but they're both great, and you should actually learn how to use both of them to get as accurate as possible. It's a single family, 1963 built, half-acre lot. Let's see. There's our subject. Some of these comps aren't showing us what size they are, which sucky. As a 2015 build, and I believe our subject is older. 60 tree. So we got to stay over here. That looks way better than 1560 square feet. So, and this is a 2-story, also not viable for us to use. Let's just keep looking. This looks more like it, but what's the size? Let's see if we can figure out how big this one was in Batch. Hot Mama. Look at that. Same size. 290 ARV, baby. 290 ARV. So if 290 is your ARV out in Atlanta, you want to be at 55%. For cosmetics, so go offer them about a 160. 160. Cool. What's next?
I have one in South Carolina.
South Carolina. And hey, guys, do us a favor and hit the like button. I think only like 5 of you have. There's like over 200 of you here across platforms. We have some people on BatchTV, some people on my Facebook page, some people watching from Astro, some people watching from Hotline, some people watching on my YouTube. But total cumulative, there's just around 200 folks in here, and we've got like 5 likes. So smash the like button. Let YouTube know that this show is valuable to you, so that they continue to notify us and whatever. Bye. What's next?
Alrighty, South Carolina.
South Carolina.
So 2 Garden Spot Lane in Camden.
All right. Doesn't tell us what year this was built. Not a lot here on the picture. 1210 square foot, 2-bed, 1 bath. Batch's value estimate is $99K. They try to sell. Oh my God. They listed this thing in September of 2021 for 400 grand. And it canceled, meaning that they were crazy. Let's see why. Let's see why these crazy craziers think this is worth this much money. Here it is. Now, the problem that we have is this doesn't have access to, this isn't backing the lake. This is on the road, right? This property is on the road, and these $400,000 and $350,000 sales, these are on the water, right? So I have to find a sale not on the water. And there's not a lot. In fact, there's nothing. Let's take this over to Zillow and see if there's anything better there. But I can for damn sure tell you that their $400,000 number is cuckoo. Oh, and they're for sale. They're listed at this 400 grand. Well, this shows us that it is on the water and it's fully remodeled. Interesting. So it does have lake access, does have a dock, but it's a fully remodeled house. I don't think this is a wholesale transaction. I don't think this is a deal. I think this is a manufactured home that somebody has renovated and they're trying to sell for 400 grand. So it's probably it's not worth 400 if it's been available for 120 days. So maybe it's worth 350, but this isn't a deal. Like, this isn't something you go chasing trying to wholesale. There's no value to be added here. It's already been extracted. Hope that makes sense.
It does.
I used to use Redfin, and it's cool. Redfin's cool. It works. I got used to Zillow and Batch, so that's what I use. Let me see that puppy. Oh my God. Oh, guys, look at Emily's puppy.
He's such a sweet boy.
What's his name?
Prince.
Oh, Prince. He's such a cutie booty. Look at that guy. Hi, buddy. Oh, my guy used to be thin like that, and then I don't know what happened.
Greg's dying in the background.
So
he's always laughing at Easton, and I said, no, he's not fat. He's just thick.
He's big. I don't know. I think he had a bully as a dad. I think when his dad was like a bully, and that's why he's got that big chest. But yeah, he's huge. He's a meathead.
I know. We used to think that he was like malnourished. I don't know, but he's like not gaining weight. So hopefully he'll grow into.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Lori Tell asked, where can you get a copy of the ARV map? So guys, that's something I share with the astro flipping students that are a part of the community there. So what I would suggest you do is squat up with someone from Astro, right? So I'm not telling you sign up it might not even be available in your part of the country because we're sold out in certain parts. But what you can do is squat up with somebody in Astro and get their help. And they'll tell you. They can share that with you, but it is exclusively available to Astro students, unfortunately, Lori. All you got to do is squat up. That's my incentive or your incentive to work with somebody in our community. Awesome. And what else do we have here? Yes, Marika, I don't feed my dog too many chicken wings. In fact, I only feed my dog the like appropriate dog food. And he doesn't get any scraps. He's just a big boy, you know?
He's a thick boy. Oh, look what Robert said.
Oh, thank you, Robert. Yes, I am doing all I can to address the narrative that is out there about wholesaling, and especially with respect to minority groups that are involved in the practice of wholesaling. It offends me to a great level, the kind of things that are being said out there by specific media outlets and realtor associations. So thank you, Robert. And I appreciate your continued support in our goal to address wholesaling as an industry and to normalize it, because we deserve it to be normalized. Wonderful. Very good, guys. Well, that brings us to the end. We're a little over. This was a great show, Em.
It was awesome. Thank you so much, Jamil.
Thank you too, and enjoy your holiday. Will you be here for Sunday's Straight Outta Compin?
No, but Michelle will.
Ooh, guys. So if you are missing Michelle Hastings, the wonderful, beautiful Michelle from Batch, she will be Emily's replacement on this coming Sunday show. Also, guys, I'm hiring. So if you're looking for a job, just reach out to me.
Starting Wednesday.
Yes.
No.
All right, everybody. Have a wonderful week. And tune in to Hotline tonight. Tariq Al Musa. Going to be an incredible show. We love you. Good day.